Seems like that's when it went live. Okay.
What's the ding-a-ling?
I think we're on.
I just got a notification this live just went public stream.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, so we are, this is September 15th, Monday, September 15th, 2025. School board meeting for Butte Falls School District. We will call the meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. and start with 1.1 roll call. Katie Misfelt.
Diane Gorman.
Blair Anderson.
Bonnie Freeman.
Thank you, everyone. 1.2, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. 1.3, agenda review and approval. Mr. Sullivan, is the agenda good to go as is?
Yes.
So I just need a motion to approve the agenda as it is.
I, Diane Gorman, make a motion to approve the agenda.
I, Blair Anderson, second.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Julie, do we have to say, we do, huh? Katie Misfelt, aye.
Diane Gorman, aye.
Blair Anderson, aye.
Bonnie Freeman, I.
Thank you, everyone. 2.0 consent agenda. 2.1 correction approval of the special meeting minutes for August 18th. I already read through them last week. If anyone had any corrections.
They're pretty straightforward. I, Diane Gorman, make a motion to accept the minutes from the special board meeting on Monday, July 18th.
August 18th,
Oh,
right?
That
No.
was the one.
No, it is July 18th. It says it August on here. Okay. Nope, you got it right, Diane.
I was
August 18th,
reading off of
July
this
18th.
page.
Yep.
Do we have it wrong?
It's wrong on our agenda. So it is for July 18th. Do I have a second?
I, Blair Anderson, second the motion.
All in favor?
I, Diane Gorman.
I, Blair Anderson.
Bonnie Freeman, I.
Katie Misfelt, aye. 3.0 communication reports. 3.1 Butte Falls Charter School Natural Resource Center. Mr. DiCarlo.
Good evening, board. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. So wanted to go over some things with you for the Natural Resource Center. So first thing I want to talk about was our summer leadership development camp. So the last 2 weeks of July, myself, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Dean Toledo all led a group of Lime High School students at the NRC through completing a number of projects and learning some leadership skills along the way, and they also got paid for their time. So in total, nearly 30 projects were completed. Everything from building a wall in the construction lab, which you can see in the picture at the bottom of this page, to installing cabinets in the bathrooms, to reorganizing the makerspace again. The one project, though, that took by far the most time and effort was being able to clear out all the underbrush in the meadow area, as well as around most of the buildings, to prepare the area for the unfortunate circumstance of a wildfire. So all the limbs and brush were taken to, and they were all piled up at the NRC, and then we had a professional come up and a wood chipper to be able to chip all of that material up so that we now have more material to build trails with. And they were able to calculate that it was chipped under 18 cubic yards of chipped up material. So a lot more than that was gathered, and once it chipped up, came to 18 cubic yards. So the crew that came up and did the chipping was very impressed that high school students were able to do that over several weeks. So any questions about that?
No, but will you share the electronic report with me for the?
Yes, I will put you on my list of just sharing it automatically with you, Diane.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next thing I wanted to talk about, which I actually was able to update since we didn't have a board meeting last week, was the Fall Festival. So coming up on September 25th, a week from Thursday, we will be hosting our third annual Fall Festival morning. This year's theme, fitting with our school district's theme, is Adventure Awaits, and will feature former middle school teacher Healy helping students to make apple cider, with Steer being shown again by former student Angel Seglia, and then a whole bunch of different craft activities and carnival games. And again, this year, the stations will be run by high school students for kindergarten through seventh graders to be able to participate in. And it should be a spooky good time to see the t-shirt design there, which I just got an email today. They are being printed. They should ship out tomorrow. So any questions about the Fall Festival?
Sounds fun, and I'm glad that Miss Ely's coming up for the cider again.
Yeah, I am too. I'm going to make sure I get one. I only got a small cup. Oh, and the other piece that I did not put in there is that talking to Lindsay Thompson, the preschoolers are going to be able to participate too for today. So I was able to get them shirts and they're going to get to come out and have some fun too.
They'll love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, the next item I want to bring to your attention is that we have coming up on October 10th some representatives from the Great Family Foundation, as well as some people in my cohort that are in the Youth Leadership and the Environment Program. And this is the program that gave me $22,000 last year, plus $44,000 for this year and the year after, which I think is later on in your agenda to approve the $22,000 we got for this year. And when they come down, this is for us to really be able to show how they've made a good financial investment in the NRC. And it's also an opportunity for me to discuss with other members of my cohort as we are building different programs across the state. And so as part of their visit, you're going to be given a tour of the NRC by some of our high schoolers, the same ones that worked for me this summer. And they're also going to be doing the high schoolers are going to lead a little leadership activity with the folks coming down. And so this has been a great experience being a part of this cohort. This is certainly by far the part I'm most excited to see if they can see what we're doing. So any questions about that?
Sounds awesome.
Should be. I'm excited for it. The next thing I wanted to bring to your attention is our connection at the NRC with the Butte Falls Community Forest. So in addition to working with the school, I also am the Commissioner for Education and Research for the Butte Falls Community Forest. As part of this role, in the community forest receiving nearly $600,000 for organ forestry. One of the major components of the grant is education and research. So as such, I am in the beginning stages of being able to hire on a work team for the town through Project Youth Plus for the next 2 summers. So in addition to a number of projects, this crew will also be working on in addition to projects on the community forest, they're also going to be able to give us a hand around the NRC. And I have already directed Youth Plus that when they go to hire students, to try to hire Butte Falls students first, and then expand the region as a whole to fill out their work crew. Also in conjunction with this grant, I've been able to recruit several members on the Forest Commission to potentially be working with students in the community forest. So either as part of what I'm doing in science classes at the high school, or as an elective class this spring. So this is going to provide students opportunities for more real-life hands-on in forestry and science. It will also allow the students to see potential opportunities for their future as they talk to the Forest Commission. So far, for the Forest Commission, the ones who've agreed to be a part of this process are Mike Smelt, Don Hammond, Dr. Christine Gleason, and Nate Bailey. And so this project will prove to be a win for the students, the community, and the Forest Commission. Any questions I can answer on that one?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank you for your work, Ben.
Absolutely, I enjoy it. And it's something that for me, it's definitely having multiple roles helps to be kind of have some synergy between the different things I'm doing, which is great. And I saved the best topic for last, talking about continued grant funding. So there are several different grants I'm in the process of pursuing for both infrastructure as well as programming at the NRC. So the 5 main ones I'm in the process of and will be applying to all of them within the next month. We have the Miller Foundation, who supports organizations working to create a more holistic K-12 education system that provides equal opportunities for all children, especially in rural areas. So this grant I'm writing so that it will enable the school to hold after school and Friday enrichment programs for students in grades 5 through 8. They're being led by high school students under adult supervision. And this also is something I'm going to be talking to Lindsay about, how we can connect with some of what she's doing at the Landing with the Ag Ventures program. The second grant I'm pursuing right now is from the Collins Foundation, which supports arts and culture, child welfare and development, education, environmental protection, health equity, and a broad range of efforts to enhance the quality of life in working communities. So this money would be used for the materials and construction of an additional greenhouse at the NRC that we would be able to use for students K through 12. The existing one has been used more by college students in the last couple of years. And as we've seen the garden area grow and diversity of plants, that we've needed more greenhouse space. The third grant I'm pursuing again is the Selco Community Credit Union, which is the one I applied for last year to make over the makerspace. And I'm just making a few adjustments to that because I am reapplying for the same thing. And so assuming we make it to the voting stage, I will definitely make sure we do a little better job of publicizing out how people can vote for that, because it is something that it's the most Facebook likes for our project is essentially what it comes down to. So I will get information out about that.
That's the one we were voting on, like on Facebook and stuff, huh?
Yes, it is. And so it's something I'm going to do a better job of getting the information out. So
I tried to share that as much as I could, but I didn't know you were runner up. We were close.
yeah, we were. And it's something that's pretty good considering a couple of the ones we were going against were in bigger cities. So I feel confident that we can get that done.
Me too.
Yes.
The fourth grant is for the Roundhouse Foundation, and they are really aiming to be able to help with essential repairs and maintenance to existing facilities. Excuse me. And so specifically, we're looking to direct money from them if we were to get the grant to be able to help retrofit the windows and doors throughout the NRC that had not already been replaced so they can be more energy efficient as well as more secure. So that one is in the process. And then the fifth and final one is from the Rural Schools Collaborative Grants in Place program, which is also one I'd applied for before. The one Miss Ely and I got the study of where did all the frogs go. And so this year, the grant I'm looking right now, I'm going to be talking to several of the elementary teachers about who wants to work on a similar project so that I can be applying for that because it's not due for another 5 or 6 weeks. So once I figure out which teachers game to do that, we'll come up with a plan and apply for that one. And they actually, I just got an email yesterday, saying that they actually have a lot more money that they got to be able to dole out. So I think we have a pretty good chance of that one. So any questions about the grants or any other things going on down at the NRC?
That's pretty cool. Is the fall festival starting like in the morning on the 25th?
Yes, the fall festival will go all day. The elementary gets down there at 9 o'clock and stays till I think 2:15. And the high school will be down there a little bit more hours because they're going to help and take down at the end of the day.
I'll try to stop in the morning.
Yep. And the school board, you have t-shirts that Julie was able to give me your t-shirt sizes, so you will get a t-shirt for them as well as soon as they come in. And she'll be reaching out to you to get it to you.
Cool, thanks.
Yes. Thank you for all your hard work, man.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. And for you or anyone watching, if you have any questions, you can always email me, nrc@buttefalls.k12.or.us. Otherwise, I hope you have a great month, and I hope to see you at Fall Festival.
Thank you,
so much.
Mr. DiCarlo.
Thank you all.
3.2 Superintendent Report Updates, Mr. Sullivan.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. What I'm kind of planning on doing every month is giving you in writing kind of the things I want to highlight, and so I'll get that to you in the board packet beforehand in the future. But so for tonight, I was still trying to add some things, so that's why I didn't get it to you too soon, because I was waiting on something. So the first thing I want to just update you on is our budget outlook for the whole state. So not necessarily us right now, but we had the economic forecast released on August 27th. So I was in a meeting with the superintendents and COSA, our superintendent group. And there were a couple of takeaways. One, it's preparing for a challenging budget environment for the next 6 to 18 months. That's kind of the running narrative right now. It's not as bad as they thought it was going to be, but they don't totally know yet because there's still things happening with the federal government and the different things happening at the federal level and how that affects Oregon, and then just some of the negotiations taking place between the United States government and Oregon government. So they said it's too early to hit the panic button. We're still waiting on information. The biggest takeaway is that there's not imminent state budget cuts. Okay, the news is to prepare and plan, but not panic. A good, I guess, comparison was during the recession time. We were talking cuts right now in that August release. So we're not there. They're just saying to prepare, but they don't know what's going to happen yet. So anytime I get information, I'll share it with y'all and kind of keep it. It's better to know more than less, because I know people ask questions, but as of right now, the budget's kind of where we thought it was going to be and not worse. So that's good. Then I have our school happening. So this is also, if you look on 3.3, there's the charter school updates. So what I've done is just kind of put them into the board report here.
Okay.
So that way there's not a separate thing. So they included their highlights. There's not a lot of new ones. I think these went out in the newsletter also, some of the similar things. Plus they send out information each week, a newsletter or something to families. But some highlights that at the elementary, we're talking about the kindergarten camp from the summer. We had 2 weeks of practice, and that was through a summer learning grant. So that was awesome. They're working on some stuff with the PlayWorks coaches for 5th and 6th graders. And then they've established their logger leaders, the kids who kind of help, as student leaders run things, so to speak. If you ask them, they probably are in charge. We told them that doesn't apply at home. They don't get the same rights at home. But they've earned it. They've done a great job. So we're really happy with them, especially on the on recess time. Our first parent meeting is the 25th at 5 p.m. in the library. That's the Butte Falls Library. And you can contact Ms. Apgar if you have more questions or information. Tomorrow is our back to school night.
Yes.
So that's exciting from 5 to 7. And so we're hoping also, with that meeting on the 25th, that if parents go to the fall festival, they'll go right to the parent group too. So hopefully that's why we kind of combined them. Back to school night, there's going to be 2 places. So traditionally, high school families have been a little less likely to show. So what we've done is tried to highlight really the focus of the high school, and that's our natural resource center. So the high school kids won't go to the high school. Families, if they come, they're going to go out to where the high school staff is at the natural resource center, and there'll be various stations for them to get information and
I like it.
some interaction. And then the elementary folks, same thing. When they go to their school, they're welcome to go to the natural resource center.
Normally they like
Encouraging
roast
that.
marshmallows or something, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Normally
normally
they
is.
do something. I don't think they share, but.
Well, we'll find out.
There we go.
But they'll be able, we want everybody to be able to kind of conclude the night out there, because that's really a big part of who we are, as Ben just shared. He also shared a lot about what was happening with the NRC, and he was also a part of our leadership camp, both Ben and Shana Brown. They worked hard at the NRC doing all that work, but they also just built a lot of good relationships with kids, and that's a big expectation for our older kids, is to be able to, I guess, start to be treated less as kids and more as young adults. And so sometimes the opportunities that we give them really allows for that. So that's very positive. Miss Pearson was able to start a little jump start for our 8th grade students at the beginning of school. So that was cool. They visited the high school, went on a tour. So I think that was new. They even got to choose their lockers, as she said, and then focus on just getting used to high school. So cool things happening there. The next thing I'm going to share is, it's on my board report, but it's down in new business, so I'm not going to touch on that. I'm going to go right to number 4. I included the hard copy, a printed out copy of the first 100 days, because some of you weren't around when I was selected. So you'll be able to read through that. And that's what I presented the team and the hiring committee. And so we'll be revisiting that, and I'll be reporting out on some of the things that I said I wanted to do, or things I thought, and that'll happen probably at the October meeting, if not October, for sure November. It's just I want to be able to have enough time to really do it, the due diligence with it. But what I will share is, part of my contract is by September 30th, I'm supposed to present my goals for the year, which you would be evaluating me on.
And it's like collaborative goals.
Correct. So what I will do by the 30th is I'll email those to you, and then want input and feedback.
Okay.
So then in the October meeting, that's where we'll arrive at what we all, share those goals, or the collaborative piece of it. Then I've talked about board meetings. We're going to do some recognition. So I included some examples. Now, back when we did our professional development week with staff, and we welcomed staff back, and I think I shared a little bit about this. Our theme is welcome to our adventure, which you have your shirts. And so that's kind of the focus of what we're doing. But we broke it down into 4 kind of aspirational statements. So the first one is the main one. The special memories are created for everyone. So that's not just for students, but it's for all of us. Because we want everyone involved with our school, and really our community, to feel like this is a place where special memories are created. Then when we look at students, we want to accomplish something. We'd like students to accomplish something they are proud of, students to experience something that's incredible, and then our students leave with the ability to succeed and thrive. And so those are kind of how we're, aspirationally thinking and providing. The specifics are to be determined because they're gonna be different for each kid. They're gonna be specialized for the staff members who will help provide them. But ultimately, if we accomplish these 4 things and everyone feels like in some way these things happen for them, then that to me is how we measure our success.
Yeah.
That's awesome. From a global standpoint. So our recognitions are going to revolve around that. So we created a special recognition for students,
Nice.
and it is for helping create special memories. So we want adults to try and find and see examples of our students who are doing things that help create special memories. They could be academic. A kid grew in their, math scores, and it created a special memory for their math teacher because they've been working real hard, right? But it could be, and most likely will be, they're doing things that help contribute to their classmates and to being, someone that stands out because their existence is special and the things that they do exemplify that. So that's what we want to do, and I leave it broad. It's not just a student a month or they met their reading goal. They'll do those things at the school, but for us, we want to hear the special things that don't really have a clear definition. And then, of course, we're going to do the same thing for our staff. So for our staff, they are being recognized for creating special memories for our students, families, and staff. They're the employee of the month for doing that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So that'll be a cool thing. They'll be nominated by their colleagues. The students will be nominated by all staff, not just teachers. Anybody can nominate a student, and then the school administration, the 2 principals, and myself will kind of select who the best ones are. So we'll look for that come our October meeting. That's when we will kick that off. So special
Like the,
memories.
Assembly?
What's
Is
that?
are these gonna be like presented at the assembly or at the board
Both.
meeting?
Both.
Oh, nice.
So they'll be at the assemblies for all the
Okay.
kids to see, but then we will invite families to come here so you guys get to participate. And you get to take a picture and put it on our website, and we hand them something to commemorate that. So it'll be both.
Cool.
Awesome. I
Okay.
think that's a great idea.
Any questions?
Nothing.
All right.
On that, thank you for sharing.
So that was 3.2 and 3.3. I
Okay.
included theirs on
Perfect.
there, so.
3.4, review payment of bills. Is Miss Brownson here?
No,
I
she's
think
not
this
here
is why
today.
your name is probably on there, huh?
Sorry. I don't think it's an action
Did we do the
item.
SIA report?
That's down further. That's new business.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Angie isn't here.
Okay.
So if you have any questions on any bills, I can look them up immediately for you. If you have any questions on the reports, give her an
Her
email.
financial report?
Yeah.
I didn't have any questions.
Any way she could send us like a quick summary email, like this is where you're at before
That's
the
kind
next
of what that
meeting?
says.
Okay.
Mm,
Well, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it sent her a specific email if you have any questions.
Okay. Got it.
Kind of like a bulleted, like something kind of says. or-
Yeah.
She didn't say anything was jumping out right now.
Okay,
I'll
perfect.
talk to her about that and see if she can put together a little quick commentary maybe.
Well, and the thing is, which you're going to talk about all the time, but we already knew the district was kind of
Budget was a concern.
yes,
Mhm.
going into the year, and then you're talking about like state funding and federal funding. So I actually would kind of just prefer to hear from her real
Yeah.
quick, like, hey, is there anything that we should be concerned about?
Yeah.
Extremely yet with spending for the beginning of the year or
Sure.
how like bargaining ended up, any of that kind of stuff.
Sounds good.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I know I could reach out to her, but it's almost better if we
Yeah,
all
no,
hear it.
I'll connect with her.
Okay, any other questions, you guys?
The numbers actually look, our expenditures are right on track for 2 months into the year.
Mhm.
We still have 86.8% of our budget expenditures left. Right on track.
Yep, that looks good to me.
I'm all wobbly in my computer, so I'm here for this.
Okay. So that also includes 3.5 financial summary. You guys all have it. Let Angie know if you have any questions. We're at 3.6 ESSA site council parent involvement. Ms. Freeman.
So
Miss Freeman, not Miss Freeman.
Oh, there is two of us.
I
Yes,
can
there it
vouch.
I know both.
So the budget has not been established yet. We have a meeting on the 25th for our parent involvement. Probably not at that meeting, but the next one, I will get input from everyone on what they want to do with the budget, and we will share that out. Maybe I can do it on the 25th. I'm not quite sure what your agenda is on the 25th. Are you cool, Mr. Sullivan?
No, I think.
I think Anna is probably gonna do like the agenda for it, because
Okay.
she's kind of taking the lead on a lot
Okay.
of stuff. And it might not hurt, which I could come by and get, for us to have some more volunteer and background check forms for me to pass out to anybody that shows up.
Okay.
So
Are
I'd
you
be-
going to attend?
Well, I'm working, so I
Oh.
kind of,
So then I will just give you the information on what our budget was last year, which will be shared
Yeah.
at open house, and we'll probably just stick to the same thing.
yeah, I pop in and out of the meeting and pop back to
Okay.
work, and I listen to what I can.
Okay.
And so I could do the update, and it wouldn't hurt for us to have extra volunteer
I will make sure that
Forms.
happens.
to have
Okay.
people fill out. Thank you. Was Miss Thompson planning to be here?
Don't know.
3.7, Butte Falls Community School Partnership.
I
Miss
can do
Thompson
it.
is not here, so Miss Gorman could do it.
Yeah, I can give you an update. My guess is that since you postponed this meeting,
Oh,
and
gotcha.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I just wanted to recap about the Ag Venture Club. That's the big focus right now at the landing, getting that going. That's that Friday school thing with the older students learning some leadership stuff. And then, I don't know all the details, but it sounds like a really cool thing, and we have really cool people in charge of it, so. It's awesome.
Nice.
In the preschool, we just started preschool last week, I think. I think we were looking at 9 students for that. We have a partnership with Mercy Flights that we are just entering into to help us with some emergency preparedness stuff. If you haven't heard of Rural Rideshare yet, this is something that is coordinated. Allison Ellis is in charge of it, and it's where people can get some mileage money for taking a buddy down the hill for something like shopping or a doctor's appointment or something. So
Which that happens a lot up here.
it does happen,
Yeah.
and people need, recognized for that, or at least, some monetary help would be great, right? So she's in charge of that. It's an app on your phone. It has to track you, of course, your mileage. But sounds like an awesome program. We'll let you know how it goes. And as you know, the Community School Partnership is fully grant funded. And so Lindsay has been doing a great job of continuing with the funders we have and finding new ones that just keeping things going real smooth. So we're
Awesome.
real happy there. Things are going well.
Awesome. I'm excited to read to preschool Thursday. I think they're gonna come to the library.
Oh, good.
3.8, is there any public on the YouTube? I don't think so, but I'm still just gonna check. For public comment.
Nothing in writing.
You didn't get anything, Mr. Sullivan?
No.
Okay. 4.0, we have no old business, so 5.0, new business, 5.1, integrated plan, SIA annual report for 2425.
All right, so I can give you a handout with this. And the state of Oregon on ODE, the Department of Education, requires us to submit this report every year. Traditionally, it's been later in November, but this year it's by by September 30th. So that's why it's happening today. And It's not anything for action. I'm required to share it with you. There are questions that we have to respond to, and it's based on everything that happened prior to this school year. So it's kind of a review of last school year and everything that's in our integrated plan, which is tied to our SIA, the student investment account. So it's money they give and the goals we set and how well did we kind of address those. So there are 3 questions here, and they're really in a narrative form. And they talk about kind of overall successes around the outcomes or strategies that we had listed in there. And then number 2 talks about any barriers and challenges. And then the third one, which wasn't on, there were only 2 questions last year, but this year there's 3. It asks for, a little bit more criteria, maybe some data, some examples. So you're just given some specifics and shared with them. And then because the report itself is kind of like looking at financial reports, there's just a ton of data. So this is more of a summary. So you guys will be able to read through that. Like I said, it's not an action item. We'll submit it after tonight. We're ready to go, but we just wanted to make sure that, we present because that's the requirement. A couple of highlights. One of the things that were in the past targeted as a barrier just around student engagement, with getting kids here, getting families involved. One of the areas that just recently, and this is this year, but it's a really cool data point. We had our first Friday school. We only have 2 of them all year. Traditionally, Friday school, we have very low attendance. So specifically with high school kids. It's been under 30%. And this year we were over 60%. And so we doubled what our average has been. And we still weren't 100. Of course, that's the goal, is get all kids here at all times. But the fact that we doubled it the first week of school having it, we did some things. We had an assembly. We did do a drawing for kids, with some prizes, if they were in attendance. We also did a field trip, so that was cool. The kids went on the
Loop tour, high school.
Loop tour, right?
Yes.
So the high school went on the loop tour. So, like I said, we were over 60, almost 70%. So we're going to chalk that up to a huge positive culture improvements at the high school. Kids will, at least 60, 70% wanted to be here enough that they came on a Friday. So that's a cool
And to be
thing.
in the woods to boot.
Absolutely.
There you go. It's always a good day in the woods.
Yeah, it was kind of hot, but they were still happy. So
Yeah, a lot of cool things along that route.
there sure are.
Yeah.
Some of the things you're going to see are just some of the supports that we have in place, connected with what I'm going to talk about in personnel is some classified updates. One of the things we've noticed is that when you have needs, you have to have the people available to provide support and needs. And so some of those things we'll address with our classified staff. I think the only other one I wanted to point out was that we started the year fully staffed. So that was a positive as much as we planned to be. So the addition of the administrator at both school sites has also made it a huge input or improvement in communication. People know who they go to. It's timely. We have an expectation if people reach out within 24 hours, they should get a call or a response. It's happening within the day because we have people available. So that's, Deirdre and Anna are really able to take care of that. So we're very happy with that structure and heard a lot of positives so far. And they're able to handle any things that, come up very quickly. And teachers can teach and support people can support, kids can learn. So that's our SIA and integrated plan update. Any questions?
When you said that you were able to fully staff, I know you were looking for like full-time substitute. Were you able to
No,
do that?
no. And that wasn't a necessity. It was more like a kind of a, like, what could we do if, to eliminate an issue? And then, so no, we didn't. We had a couple of folks that just didn't, we thought they were going to work out, but they didn't. So what we did is we turned that position into some classified support. So we saved some money, but we also were able to target it. And then we have some folks in town some retired teachers that have joined our sub pool. So we're in a better place around subs. So something I was worried about actually took care of itself. And then I was able to take that position and turn it into multiple places to help.
Nice.
So it worked out better.
Yeah.
So that's why I say fully staffed, because we didn't go without a teaching position that we really needed.
What was the position at the high school?
We wanted a social studies position.
So we did not fill.
We
that.
didn't fill it, and we filled it from within with current staff.
Okay.
And so that was another way that we were looking at that full-time sub position. And so really we took a teacher position, which is one of our most expensive, and we turned it into some classified help. So we actually got more people, more help, with things like that. And then we're able to cover the teaching piece.
Nice.
So worked out good. Worked out better than we'd hoped. So that is the plan.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes.
5.2 board policy, first reading, JFCED, personal devices, and JFCED, personal devices, AR.
All right, back to me. So last meeting I shared that we, in accordance with our governor's executive order around student use of personal electronic devices, by October 15th, we have to have a board policy in place, and then it actually has to be fully implemented by January. And so that's what this is, our first reading. And so we can get input on it. And then October we'll be voting on it. So we took this straight from the ODEs and OSBA, the Oregon Board Association's language. And so we plugged in exactly what everybody is doing. So that's the student use of personal electronic device code, JFCEB policy. As part of that, we also have to have an exception process. So there are some exceptions that can be granted, but there needs to be a process or a form that folks would go through to get that. The exception is really tied around students with special needs, so a student with an IEP or a 504 or any other kind of medical issue, which would probably fall under both those anyway. So that's what the policy is there for. It's not for, just for anybody who wants it, an accommodation.
If you want to be able to contact your student and not the office, but it's not for IEP or medical reasons.
No. So that's what those two are. So we'll have a chance to take public comment, and if anybody has it over the next month, and then for you guys to bring back any questions for the next month. And I would also encourage you, if you had questions before that, to reach out to me, because I can provide more information rather than waiting to the night where you have to vote on it.
Right.
But sometimes it's good to have that discussion in public, because people can hear the questions that they have answered. But I'm encouraging folks, if they have questions, to bring them up, throughout the business weeks, and we can talk about whatever you need, and then do what they need to do. And if there's a public comment, or if there's, when the board makes their comments on it.
So this will be the final policy that has to go into effect in January?
Correct.
Okay.
And so what you saw in this is tied, it makes reference to our off and away, which we shared last time. So that's kind of the school rules. This is the board law, this is the actual board policy.
Due to an executive order from the governor.
100%.
Yes.
Just so anybody that's listening to this later on, this isn't anything new that we came up with on our own.
No.
This had to do with an executive order. And so this is us putting it in writing to comply with that.
100%
And
compliance. That's
Any
correct.
questions are welcome and encouraged.
And I will share personally that this was a challenging thing for my family last week, because the executive order
It's on
put
our
in
campus.
place to protect student health and mental health chiefly around social media and things like that. So remove the tool that accesses social media. Well, the tool also is a communication device.
Yes.
And it's also a device which some kids use for positive mental health.
Yes.
An example, I have 2 sons, and when they're struggling with something difficult, they will reach out to mom or dad during an off period or at lunchtime, and check in with them. Hey, I'm struggling. I just got a bad grade. Or my girlfriend broke up with me. Or something tragic happened in the world today. And I'm really having a tough time with it. And I just wanted to talk to you and tell you I love you. So as a parent, that got taken away from me. So I comply with the rules because that's my job. But I will say that it's there's always more sides to things. And when there's even, we were told this is for mental health, and I totally agree with that. There is components of that are true. But it also, it's hurting my kids' mental health because they couldn't check in with their parent when they were having a struggle. So I brought that up, and I want to share that with our families and staff, that I brought that up to ODE when we had our superintendent's meeting, that there's more to it. Everything isn't simple. And while I support the idea that social media and the phone is harming kids,
Distraction.
I
for
agree.
You're
sure.
staring at your phone in class. I mean,
100%.
I get why they did it, and I also understand what you're saying, because my 15-year-old is not one that's like staring at her phone
That's
in
right.
class or using her phone. But she was having a rough day today. She had to walk off campus
Yeah,
to a park to call her mom and be like, man, I'm having a tough day.
yeah.
So I get it.
And so what I'm going to say is that we, those in charge of enforcing the rules, will look at every single incident of a violation with the, to get to the bottom of exactly what happened. And there are times where kids might break the rule. They may pull out their phone and they may do something that they believe is what they need at that moment. And we are going to treat those kids based on the decision they made. And always look for the most appropriate way to address it. That kid sneaking off in the bathroom and getting on, TikTok, that's not what we're talking about,
Right.
right? What you're talking about is what I'm talking about. And so I want to assure families and our staff that this isn't just a black and white issue. We have a standard and we expect kids to follow it, but there are times when all of us don't go the speed limit. And the reason was it was safer not to. And so we're going to look at it that way. And I just want to say, I need to make sure you understand my role in interpreting rules is to honor them, but the spirit of the rule is what is most important. So.
Yeah. And I agree with both of you parents, I think it's really important, especially because we never know day to day what's going on.
Right.
With your children, plus, if they're having a bad day or they just need to reach out to mom and dad and say, hey, I love you. I'm struggling today, but I love you. That's all right.
And I think there's some merit to teaching them how to be responsible with
Yes,
the devices as
absolutely.
well. That was how
Yeah.
we originally started with the phones.
That's
was
right.
That was our goal, is to teach them to be responsible. And this is what you do when you're at work. And guess what? School is like work.
That's right.
And
It's
so
training.
then they transition into the work world and
Yeah.
you have those skills.
So we're gonna you're gonna extend school for the next 50 years of your life because you're gonna be working.
So I just wanted to assure you that I will always uphold board policy. It's the rule and the governor's
It's our
executive
job.
action, but I will interpret the most appropriate way to address it.
When it is,
in
when
kids'
the policy
and
is
family's
broken.
best interest, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. Yep. Okay, anybody with questions?
Bonnie, you still there?
Always. Oh. Email.
I'm still here.
Okay.
At buttefalls.k12.or.us with any comments on the topic we're talking about, or questions or concerns. Hi, Bonnie. Did you have anything to add?
No, I was just gonna say thank you, Mr. Sullivan. I appreciate your input on that.
You're welcome.
Okay. 5.3, resolution 26-01 Gray Family Foundation. Mr. Sullivan.
Yeah, this is something you've been doing for the past, I think, couple years. So it's just routine, but it is an action item. You have to pass this resolution to accept the money from the Gray Family Foundation
Support the
supporting our
NRC.
Natural Resource Center.
Mhm.
So it will require a motion and a second and a vote.
Make a motion to approve resolution 26-01, Gray Family Foundation, and thank you very much.
Blair Anderson, second the motion.
All in favor?
Diane Gorman, aye.
Blair Anderson, aye.
Bonnie Freeman, I.
Katie missed the aye. Okay, 5.4 OSBA nomination, Ms. Misfeld. So what is our,
She here tonight?
I'm not used to being called that.
You're just wanting to know if anyone wants to serve on the OSBA Board of Directors or the OSBA Legislative Policy Committee. And if so, then you would forward their names and resume. There's a questionnaire and
That's all it is. It's the same thing every year. There's opportunity for you all to join the OSBA board and a process to do so.
Which maybe I'll do when all my children are out of the house. So,
Let me know if
Maybe
anybody's
someday.
interested.
Okay,
let Julie know.
Okay, not
Okay.
at this time for me.
yeah, I don't have time at this time. for me, so
okay.
Maybe someday.
Sure, you just dropped something for me to sign right after, I think. Okay, so one other thing that we were gonna do tonight is, I'm gonna scooch back to this. This is not, we can have a conversation about this, but I think we're gonna do both together. Like when Mr. Sullivan comes to us with his goals, and I'm pretty sure in the contract, it's kind of like a collaborative thing.
Yep.
We also need to update, I'm looking for the right piece of paper here. We need to update because we haven't done it in a long time, visions and goals for the school district. The last thing we had was like a 5-year plan that Dr. Long and probably other people helped him come up with. And so everybody should have a copy of the school's mission statement in your packet.
Oh, boy.
This has not changed. This is still the school's mission statement. So our goals and vision should just completely align with the mission statement, just maybe a little bit more detail as to how we plan to accomplish that. And so we could have a conversation about this tonight, jot down ideas, but hopefully we could just all have good ideas of what that looks like by our meeting in October, is kind of what I'm thinking.
So I'll email my personal goals and they'll reflect this, right? And then they'll also, because how I view this is how we came with this, right? So this is an interpretation of this.
Okay.
Okay. And so every year this is what stands, and then you kind of, every year you're gonna modify how you do it. So that's
Having
what
your
this
theme,
comes from. That's right. So my goals will align to this, they'll align to the superintendent's, the administrative standards for the superintendent that COSA and OSBA put out. That way they're measurable. And so I think it'd be a great idea. That'll come by the 30th. So you'll read those. I think reflect on these, and then in our October meeting, we combine both. So we'll have my collaborative goals that we all agree on, and
School boards.
Yep.
And hopefully they all kind of align quite well,
you know,
is in the end what it really should look like. So,
do you want them to all align?
well, no, I just mean,
No, I mean, you
Yeah,
want them
I
to be
do.
collaborative, and we all agree, right?
absolutely.
Well, then they will.
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's what
Yeah.
we'll work towards. Because you're not gonna accept something that doesn't feel right, and neither would I. We're gonna make sure we all are on
When
the
I-
same page.
I kind of meant more, hopefully the school board isn't like over here and then you're over here, like that
No.
we're more like
Gotcha.
same page
Yes.
on what the goals
Well,
are
the end
looking
result will
like.
definitely be there. So you're curious on how the first look at it is? Like, will we be thinking the same thing?
Well, no, actually, I just think it's a good idea for you to reach out to us and then for board members individually to respond to Rich, because we don't want to do any like
Correct.
serial communications. Was anybody able to attend the public meeting law thing? Have you gotten onto the OSBA yet?
No.
Okay, so I think I don't think he has access to OSBA.
Oh,
He
really?
needs a username and a password.
Yeah, I tried getting in there this weekend and
He's
Yeah, I
new,
didn't have any
so
luck.
Okay, Julie will check on that.
are you able to get into OSBA?
Yeah, I did it already. I did in my paper.
Yeah, okay, so I did my screenshot, but I still can't find a printer to print it on. I'll print it at the library tomorrow and sign it, but I did do it.
There you go. I could say you could email it to me and I can print it off on my printer at home, but if you got access to the library, you can just.
Yeah, and so, that's, Bonnie, were you able to do the training, the mandatory training?
No, I will.
Awesome. Yeah, and so, yeah, to avoid serial meetings, let Mr. Sullivan start, let us know, and then individual board members just kind of reach back out to him with our opinion, our thoughts, anything we want to add, and then we'll just collaborate that all at the next meeting.
Perfect.
Sound fair?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
I'm glad to see that this mission statement is still being used and a lot of work went into this. I was part of that group and, we had 40 or 50 people working on this.
Yeah, it's good.
Wow.
And so it was meant to be broad enough that it can be interpreted differently each year
Love
to
it.
fit the school. So thank you.
Well, and actually, I went just straight back to this because we were talking about visions and goals.
Yeah.
This, we haven't updated this, which that's not out of the question. We could update it, but I asked Julie to get everybody a copy of this.
Yeah.
Because that's what our vision and goals should align with.
Thank you. That was a really good idea. Thank you.
Okay, okay, so 6.0, 6.1, classified staffing updates.
All right, I
Mr.
got 2
Sullivan.
minutes, so I'll get this quick. As I touched on earlier, we did make some additions in classified staff. It's covered budget-wise because we had budgeted for a teacher. Teacher's more expensive even than 2 aides, and so that was a benefit. And so we have an instructional aid for our special ed students that we are adding, and then an instructional aid for general education students, one at the high school and one at the elementary. We were able to fill both of those. Our special ed position at the elementary, I believe it's the special ed one. I'm gonna make sure, but was our current employee in our food services department, Carmen.
I was wondering if she was getting special ed benefits, so that's good to
I
know.
believe it's the special ed one because I think she's working at the elementary and I'm pretty sure it's special ed. But if
Kind of looks
not,
like special ed work.
either way, it's a full-time position, which anytime, we're as we always say, we're the biggest employer in the county,
Mhm.
excuse me, in the city.
Yes, you are.
Not the county, but the
Right.
city. And so anytime we can elevate folks who live in our community and give them a better job and especially when it aligns with their lifestyle, being with their families, that's a huge bonus. And then we hired a second person who's still going through the clearance process. And so once that's complete, we'll announce them. But that will be the one working with the high school. And
Awesome.
so then that will, we'll be ready to go. We're advertised for the assistant cook position in the cafeteria. So we'll hope we'll find a unicorn there.
And where do those get posted?
That one's posted in, I think on our website. It'll also get posted once it goes through, because we have to do it locally first within our own staff. It'll go through, I believe there's the School Spring, which is a website through Douglas ESD. Actually, just all the schools. It's a national thing, but through Oregon. It'll be at the ESD, the Douglas ESD's job site as well. And I can find out if there are any more. Those are the 2 I know off the top of my head. Perfect. A lot of times we fill them right from our website, though.
Okay, yeah, that'd be the one that we'll want to get out there is the website one,
Yep, for
right?
sure.
To get out locally, because I don't think,
Well, they do it internally first. That's when I say
Right,
locally, that's
right.
what I meant. But then our website speaks to our community and anyone that comes to visit it. The ESD's website, and their job website, and then the School Spring is more for the whole region or anyone who might want to move here.
And we've often done it in the bulletin too. Is that something
We could
that?
do that, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
So we'll remind you
Yes.
about that.
So there's that, and then we just finished finalizing a new position, a lead custodian position, which Dr. Long and the CSEA union started work on back in the spring, identifying we have a need for an expanded position, one that can do more than just the beginning level custodian work. and some supervision of scheduling and things like that. So we just landed on that position and then the compensation piece, actually just this afternoon. So we'll advertise that starting tomorrow and hope to fill that. It'll start internally. And then if we find a candidate or if we don't, we'll expand it as needed. We anticipate, that there'll be folks in our system that are interested in that.
Mhm.
And then, no, that's it. That's it.
All good stuff.
Okay.
And that MOU we're signing is just to take care of Carmen's position and her move. I'll give you this update. One of the things we worked with the union, we have someone who goes from a position in our system and takes another job. The way the system was set up, or the way it could set up, they might take a pay cut, even though they, are working with kids. In this case, like the cafeteria position, paid more than working directly with kids.
Which
And-
surprises me.
Yeah, and
Which
surprised a lot of us.
was, and if the assistant cook is part-time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is.
So that's where the same thing at the Forest Service. If you're a temporary or part-time, you're not paying into your retirement or a lot of health insurance and a lot of other costs that come within 40-hour week. So sometimes that's where you get bit.
Yeah, so
That
what
makes
we
sense.
did was we created a policy which a lot of districts use, and it's called freezing your step. So if you make this much in this position, and moving would result in you making less per hour, what we do is we sign an MOU that allows you to make the same. And so you don't lose money, you just are frozen there until this job, after so many years, until the rate goes up where you would equal it, then you start to go up. And so you don't lose money.
You might have to explain that one better to me later, because almost, I feel like when we do like our bargaining, is that employee not eligible for those annual increases?
Correct, they would not, because they
Oh.
technically got an increase based on an agreement. And so.
Put them at a higher
Right.
step.
However, whatever their current rate is, right, it's based on what their rate was. So if there was a raise that was negotiated, that rate would go up just like everybody else's, but they wouldn't get the increase over here until they reached it.
We're bargaining with classified this
Yeah,
year anyways,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, you'll have plenty of
Typically-
time to clarify this for me.
Okay.
Typically, at the Forest Service, we call that a lateral, where you go from
Right.
doing firework and then you go into the administration or something.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're not out in the woods, you're still doing fire stuff, but it's a lateral position. Your duties change
Right.
and your stuff's still protected.
And that's not contract language, that's an MOU.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because if they went from being, instructional aide and then became a custodian, those are vastly different. Well,
Yeah.
that we wouldn't necessarily want them to be making the same that they were making. But what we viewed it as, if you're gonna work with kids, you're not gonna take a pay cut. If you're working with our children, you're not gonna make less.
See, I'm just surprised that was there, so I'll have more questions for you
It's
later.
just 'cause of
I
where
need to
the
relook,
ranges
I need to
are.
look
Yeah, I'll show
at the
you.
chart again,
Yeah.
yeah.
But what I wanna, the main thing is, the main,
Yeah, and that's probably, sorry to interrupt you, that's probably the most important thing is when, it takes an extra person and extra effort to work with special needs children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, the main thing is I'm trying to convey that our focus is on the students first. And so we don't want our employees feeling like they're gonna take less to work with kids. And so it's an MOU, which means it's a special case and we review every single one. So we're gonna look at everything to make sure it's always what's best for everybody. So that's all that is.
I'm glad you guys did that, because
But I
yeah,
can
I'm still a
definitely show you
little
the numbers. so
foggy
they-
on why it's less. I'm foggy on that part. I get how it happened, but.
Yeah, it's just where the pays, where the
Yeah.
classifications are, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean that
Right.
the assistant cook is a lesser position.
Slinging
It
hash.
just seems like,
Yeah.
working with corn dogs and working with,
Kids
students.
who eat corn dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They
Well,
should-
special ed kids in particular, that's where I got a little confused.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's just the way those are aligned, so we worked with unions to create an equitable, to take care of our folks, so
Good.
very happy that it worked out.
Awesome.
So
Yes.
that's it. I went over by 7 minutes.
That's okay. I didn't know you had to go, which is good.
No,
I could do
I
an
want to
hour
honor the
meeting.
time.
I could do an hour meeting. So we often go till 8 or 9. So, anybody have anything else?
No, I think I'm good. Bonnie?
I'm good. Thank you, though.
Okay, so we are at 7:07 p.m. and we will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Make a motion or anything.
No,
No,
everyone
I-
always asks that,
No, it
but
always catches me.
you actually just literally open the meeting and close it.
California, you have to have a motion in a second.
Good night, you guys.
Night,
Bye,
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
So the custodian, or excuse me, the assistant cook